process, we did bring about collectives, publishing initiatives like the Offset Project, also works in the book form like Noni Singh, who's the original archivist, and many other practices such as Farheen Fatima, who documents people in the beautiful parks of Chandigarh, also reflecting on how queer life can be out there in the open. Pratna Singh, whose work on women and wrestlers speaks to the biases and the prejudices that our country has still for women in otherwise male-dominated fields. On the other hand, we also brought about gender disruptors like Indu Antony's Ceciliad. Radha Rathi asking questions on the notions of goddesses in our lives. Samar Hasboon from Palestine, who chose to not show images of war, instead to show a very poetic way of how Palestinian people need to be shown, so that the only image that we have of them is not of the war. And then of course we have Bhumika Saraswati, whose work on the impact of heat on the lives of Dalit and Adivasi women.
I started this work about 4 years ago, where heat waves were not so much so in the conversation. There were some articles here and there, but what actually led me to do a lot of this work was also that I was, as a journalist, as a practicing journalist, I was really irritated by this very idea of the headline of 112 people dying of heat. So the project, even though it began with documenting physical heat and how it impacts women's bodies and why it leads to somebody's death.
And it also found its connection with Kiki Streitberger's work.
This is my project Zugvögel, which is about farm workers in Germany. I chose to photograph them behind the curtains because the first time I saw them, they were staying in containers. I also like the idea that we don't know the people behind our food, the people who pick our food, the people who are responsible that we even have all that food.
So a lot of these threads that came together really made this exhibition worthy of the title itself, that it's time to see, to be seen. In the curation, we are also presenting the work of Delphine Diallo, which is a combination of photography and artificial intelligence, which she calls as ancestral intelligence.
This work has been inspired by African civilization long time ago. A specific one called the Kingdom of Kush, which is a Kemet civilization. The African pharaoh, priestesses, and oracle who used to exist before colonization appeared.
In the curation, it was also important to look at the wider history of feminist collectives, not just from the first wave of feminism, but in contemporary spheres. One of the works that were brought in is titled Putting Ourselves in the Picture, which is by Fast Forward Collective based in the UK. This is led by a world-renowned artist, Anna Fox, and many of her partners.
We've made this project Putting Ourselves in the Picture, which this was the first edition, and we're working with a group of refugee and migrant women across the UK, about 21, 22 people. Life between here and where they've come from. This one, with very simple text and image, like collaged, how they're feeling about the new life. And here it's like, again, pictures from home. This is a favourite dish. And then more constructed things where somebody's actually created this constructed image about self and identity.
I would like to speak about a beautiful sub-curation that was led by Offset Projects and Anshika Verma that is part of this show. It is titled A Shared Room and offers a glimpse into the works of 10 artists who are from India, South Asia and Southeast Asia. The curation presents a glimpse into history, rebellion, inheritance and memory in the book form, in the form of zines, in some video and audio forms as well.
It's really exciting to be at the 4th edition of the Biennale. We've had a long association and we actually started Our first exhibition as Offset Projects was also at the Biennale many years ago, so it's really nice to come back here in a new iteration. What we're presenting here is a program of ours called A Shared Room, and the idea behind A Shared Room is to actually share practices of different artists we've engaged with, artists whose work we align with, or artists who we've worked with to develop projects, develop bodies of work and book forms as well. So it's a real pleasure to create this mini room within the larger exhibition that looks at practices of women photographers and practitioners working with bookmaking. We have quite a few artists here who are looking at intersections of film and photography, film and bookmaking, sculpture and bookmaking, including my own work, which looks at intersections of mapping, drawing, and photography, of course.
I mean, me being a representative of the German Cultural Institute, of course, we contributed to German-speaking artists. One is Kiki Streitberger and the other is Hannah Cook. But when we looked at choosing the artist, it was more about how do we actually create an exhibition that showcases the diversity of, and I know we're not supposed to say it, but it still is female photography, because photography, everyone still associates it with male photographers. So we really wanted to show the entire bandwidth from photojournalism, very local projects, to very global projects, and also to themes that everyone can connect with.
Hi, I'm Ruchira Das, Director Arts India at British Council. I'm here at Chennai Photo Biennale 4th edition, and it's wonderful to be here. I've just seen this fabulous exhibition that presents perspectives of women in photography, and we as British Council are delighted to be able to support and bring together showcasing our works of talented UK and Indian artists like Anna Fox and Bhumika Saraswati, and fostering cross-cultural exchanges through residencies and workshops, and we hope to continue to champion the power of art to connect communities and spark meaningful dialogue.